Hi there team, Coach Alexa here. Today I'm going to take you through some balance exercises for runners. So if you've ever noticed perhaps when you're doing your stretching at the end of a run, that you're a little bit wobbly, the arms are waving around, you're a bit unsteady, you're kind of hopping about, then some balance exercises are probably going to be really useful for you. Running is standing on one leg at speed, and the more balance and control we have on that leg, the more our body is moving in the way it's designed to, and not having to compensate and lean and do all sorts of other stuff while we're trying to propel ourselves forward. So all fairly simple exercises can be done with no or little equipment. I'm going to demo one final exercise on my Bosu Ball, but I'm going to give you a great alternative because I know that not many people have them lying about the house. So we're going to start off just getting ourselves ready here, and it's standing on one leg is the simplest and best place to start with balance exercises. So making sure the toes are spread, making sure you're looking at the floor, maybe 2 or 3 meters in front of you, and just lifting the other leg and trying to stand nice and controlled here. So you'll feel the foot and the ankle particularly making adjustments to keep you in that balanced position, and that's great because those are the muscles that we want to be working. We want to be trying to hold this one leg stand for about 30 seconds as a kind of minimum target, and then building it from there. Do the same on the other side, obviously all of the time, otherwise we'll have one good leg and one not so good leg. 30 seconds is that minimum requirement. Give yourself a break. 30 seconds again, give yourself a break, 30 seconds again. So we're trying to hold the exercise for a period of time, 30 seconds being the minimum, then build it up, about 30 second recovery, then the exercise again, and then one final time at the end with 2 rests in between. The next way to progress this one, and I'd suggest you probably only try this once you've got up to 30 seconds of just the standing on one leg, is to spell out your name in nice big letters with the other foot. So if you've got a short first name like me, then maybe do it twice. So what this is doing is moving your centre of gravity around a little bit. Our legs are quite big, they weigh quite a lot, so this is just adding a little bit of extra challenge. And what you might see here as I do this is that my ankle is working hard to adjust, but also my hips and my pelvis are starting to work hard as well. So that's another element of challenging our balance. Again, one name or around 30 seconds on both sides, bit of rest, do it again, rest, do it again. So 3 reps and 2 rests in between. The final aspect of this standing on one leg challenge is where you sort of elevate things to Jedi levels, standing on one leg with your eyes closed. So this is hard because your frame of reference that your brain is using to help with that balance disappears. So you're relying purely on the reactions and the feedback from the muscles in your feet and ankles and legs to do the balancing. So if you're feeling like a challenge, going up to 30 seconds and beyond with your eyes closed is a really, really good way of pushing things on from a balance perspective. So you can do these as part of a session in the sets and reps that I mentioned, or what you can do is think about just slotting these into everyday tasks. So they don't really need any equipment. You can do them quite subtly, particularly just standing on one leg with your eyes open, in a queue, waiting for the kettle to boil, while you're cleaning your teeth, all sorts of different places where you can throw in a little bit of standing on one leg and really perfect that nicely. Okay, we're going to progress on to another little exercise related to balance, and this one I'm going to just start off in the easier version with my fingers on the wall. And we're going to be standing on one leg again. We want, as we lift our foot up, the reason why we have our fingers on the wall is as we lift our foot up, we want our hips to not shift over to the sides. We want that leg to still be coming directly out of that hip socket. If we took our hand away, our weight would have to shift slightly sideways as we were standing on the wall. So going like this, and then all we want to do here is a slight knee bend. If you're looking down at your feet, you want that knee just to cover the end of your toes, no further. And what we want to do here is control the movement of that knee. So the knee wants to be going straight forwards and backwards. I don't want it to be wobbling around, I don't want the pelvis to be tipping. So we're just going straight forwards and backwards. And once we've completely nailed that, ideally if you're doing this in front of a mirror, that's perfect, and you can watch what that front knee is doing. What we want to be doing as a progression to that, maybe once you've got up to 15 reps on each side, is taking that hand away from the wall. And there things get a little bit more interesting because we are having to work a lot harder on that balance. And we want to make sure, maybe hands on the hips, to make sure the hips are nice and steady and that knee is tracking forwards and back. Okay? Excellent stuff. So I'm going to show you an exercise on the Bosu Ball now. Squats and lunges can both be done on something similar to a Bosu Ball, and my favourite alternative is a cushion off your sofa. So if you've got a cushion that's maybe perhaps that deep on the back of your sofa, on the seat of your sofa, take it off, pop it on the floor, and you can use it instead of this Bosu Ball. It just means that instead of your feet being on solid ground, they're on slightly wobbly ground, which really adds to that balance challenge. So what you can do is just put the front foot on the Bosu Ball, get into that really nice long lunge position, and do your lunges from here, and you can see how much more the ankle and knee are having to work to stabilise that front leg. So it really becomes much more of a balance challenge. Starting off maybe 8 reps, 3 times with a 30-second rest in between. You could also just stand on your sofa cushion to start with, shifting the weight from foot to foot, and then maybe trying some small squats to begin with on that sofa cushion. And you can see how much harder the ankles particularly are working to maintain your balance here. Okay, final exercise is working a little bit into strength and balance. And this is a great one for all runners, and it's calf raises. So again, fingertip touch on the wall or on a solid surface like a kitchen table. And we want to be going up onto tiptoes on one side, completely straightening the ankle and lowering ourselves slowly back down. So slowly and with control. And we want to get to the point so we're not just lifting the heel a couple of inches off the ground. We want to lift all the way up so that ankle is straight and then come back down again. So again, starting off 8 to 10 reps on each side, 30 seconds rest. Repeat that twice more. Building up gradually the number of reps to 12 to 15 reps on each side. So it's good for balance because again you can see that ankle working, and it's great for the strengthening of those balancing muscles and the other muscles in the calves as well. So that's a short and sweet balance workout for runners. Give it a go and let me know any questions in the comments.